Greetings and salutations. This is the voice of Loquacious of Heard, bringing you his blind reaction to the RWBY Season 4 prequels. The first one titled Character Short, then 4 others, each titled after a particular site of interest in the world of Remnant: Atlas, Mistral, Vacuo, and Vale. I anticipate that, as with the World of Remnant miniseries that kicked off Season 3, this set of videos will continue to flesh out the world of Remnant and help to set the stage for the stories that will play out in this, the 4th season of RWBY. So now, without further ado, for all and sundry, especially the sundries, ladies, gentlemen, and those who have yet to make up their minds, let us see what Season 4 shorts will have in store for me as we continue our story, Once Upon a Time. Ah, I see RWBY. Cape's looking a little more tattered than usual. And it looks like they've kicked up the animation yet again. Lovely backgrounds. Roach is new, yes? Yes. Oh, a village. It looks warm. Yes, a little too warm, perhaps. Things are looking a little grim down there. You can do something about that, maybe? You're going to ride one of the Grimm into town. That sounds about right. Definite improvement in the animation. I like what I see. That statue? Who was that? Hello, Grimmy Grims. Ooh, nice little trailing effect with the light in your eyes. Definitely have improved. I like this. Ooh, her semblance has gotten better. Whoops. Oh! A smart Grimmy is throwing rocks. Poor Plaza. I don't think it was made to take such an impact. Oops! Oh, what sort of Grimm is that? A Gorilla Grimm! We haven't seen one of those before. I shall call him Kong. Ooh! Ooh! Projectile Grimm? RWBY's definitely gotten better. And this township is gradually getting worse. I wouldn't celebrate too quickly, Kong. Yes. That is a lovely window. That was a lovely window. Ooh. Nice trick with the cape. And Grim is dead.
Ruby, we saw smoke. Heading your way.
Don't start without us.
I'm afraid
Better hurry.
that you're going to be a little disappointed, Nora Valkyrie, because Ruby has indeed started without you. Still say that moon does not look terribly good. Oh, hi Vice. And Blake. Oh, lovely water animations. Get your cybernetic arm, Yang! We know it's going to happen. Nice character short. And that was the character short for Ruby. Very nice. Next up, we have the World of Remnant, Atlas. Indeed, Ruby, World of Remnant. Atlas. Are you holding up the world on your shoulders?
I suppose it's time we talked about the fine people at the top of the world. Atlas
As
is
opposed to the
Remnant's
bottom.
youngest and arguably most successful kingdom, but it's a bit of a special case. See,
Looks like it's
before the
cold.
Great War, there was no Atlas. There was Mantle. At some point in time, a group of settlers were crazy enough to venture out into the northernmost continent of Solitas. I guess when you're that desperate, a frozen hunk of rock doesn't seem like such a bad place to call home. As a
I
matter
can
of
imagine.
fact, the harsh weather conditions proved to be just as useful as the mountain ranges when it came to keeping the creatures of Grim at bay. It also kept the people of
Impressive.
Mantle from flourishing. Humanity's got a neat trick up its sleeve, though. Whenever we're faced with a problem, our inclination is to find a solution. The cold climate of Solitas forced its settlers to adapt. They developed a more advanced technology, and they did it faster than the rest of the world. Because they had
yes.
to survive. But it was the Great War that really kicked things off. New forms of dust application and weaponry allowed Mantle to expand. More and more territory was set aside for dust mining and research. The territory beside the kingdom's combat school, Alcius, was the most opportune area to construct a new R&D facility. But by the time things were all said and done, it would be much, much more. Alcius was reopened as Atlas after the Great War to house many of the warriors now seeking guidance in an effort to give back to the citizens. Mantle applied all sorts of new dust techniques and technologies it had used in the war to beef up the Academy's campus. The school grounds expanded faster than they could have imagined, and even helped to better secure the surrounding areas. It wasn't long before the kingdom's military moved in, then the labs and research facilities, and eventually even residential areas started popping up. In time, it became apparent that the city of Mantle was living in Atlas' shadow. So the decision was made to move the kingdom's capital. Mantle was old news, and the kingdom of Atlas was born. A golden age of prosperity, they called it. But those left behind in Mantle would probably tell you that it was the coldest winter they ever knew.
Well, those left behind frequently feel a little left behind. I can see that. Well, so that's what's been going on with Atlas. Nice to know. Next up, Mistral. Once again, Ruby, World of Remnant. And Mistral. Tell me about Mistral. Who will tell me about Mistral?
Right. Where were we?
Ah, Crow again.
The east of Sanis is Remnant's second largest landmass, Anima. That's where you'll find the kingdom of Mistral.
Okay.
Of the four kingdoms, Mistral has the most controlled territory, meaning you'll find a wider variety of ecosystems and lifestyles.
Okay.
Trust me, this place is something for everyone, for better or worse. The high society folks of Mistral are known worldwide for their contributions to fashion, architecture, theater, all the things that make the world pretty and tolerable.
Very nice. I approve.
This lower class has got a fame of its own. Mistral's home to the biggest black market on the planet. Need something that's hard to find? Got someone that's hard to kill? They can help, provided you've got the end to pay for it. There's one common thread that links all these people together, though, and that's their respect for nature, particularly the sea and the sky.
Very nice.
The natural resources and geography of the area impacted Mistral's culture and technology in a big way.
Frequently they do.
Its first settlers found shelter high up in the wind-carved cliffs, and as their population grew, so did their ability to utilize the land to its fullest potential.
I see airships.
A real bunch of forward thinkers. Of course, the bigger the kingdom, the harder it is to govern.
Very true.
There's a reason traders and thieves flock to Mistral. The main city's right under the council's eye, sure, but places like Windpath and Kuchinashi start to get a little farther out of sight. There's plenty of places to hide in Mistral. That's why you gotta know where to look.
And I imagine Crow knows where to look. Well, nice little bit of heads up about another one of the 4 great civilizations of Remnant. And let's see. Next up we have Vacuo. RWBY, World of Remnant. And Vacuo. Tell me about Vacuo, Mr. Crow.
Now, if there's one kingdom that's had it harder than the people of Mantle, it's Vacuo, the last of the 4 great kingdoms. The western end of Sanus is a barren and desolate wasteland. But long ago, before man went and ruined everything, it was a paradise.
Was it now?
The center of the vast
and how did
desert
man
was an
ruin
oasis
everything there?
unlike anything you'd ever seen.
Probably with dust.
A jungle bursting with natural resources, geographical defenses, and the world's largest recorded deposit of dust. Nomads that survived the journey across the scorching sand settled down in this little hidden gem, and over time the kingdom of Vacuo thrived. Unfortunately, comfort breeds weakness. While the rest of Remnant had to learn and adapt in order to survive, Vacuo's ancient society kicked back and lived a life of complacency. But when other, more developed kingdoms set their eyes on everything Vacuo had to offer, its citizens couldn't do anything to stop them from taking it.
That looks rather like Atlas. Well, it looks like everybody stepped in.
Unrestricted mining and ecological disasters have changed Vacuo. The paradise that was once there is practically indistinguishable from the surrounding deserts. Citizens live in makeshift homes, uprooting and traveling frequently in response to the fleeting resources and occasional attacks from the creatures of Grim. After the Great War, a formal government was finally established. But by that point, the folks living in Vacuo didn't much care to uphold its laws, making Shade Academy the only real source of order in the kingdom. But order isn't everything. Vacuo may not be as prim and proper as the other 3 kingdoms, but it's still standing. And the people there have a mutual respect for one another. See, there's really only one unspoken rule in Vacuo. If you can survive here, then you're welcome here. So there you have it.
Tough
Vale,
people.
Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo. You know, Oz would always say that the 4 kingdoms were a representation of what mankind is capable of when working together.
Good for on Oz.
Ever the optimist. Sure could use him now.
True that. I wonder what's happened to him now that he's missing in action. Well, since I'm taking these alphabetically, I still have one more to look into. Next up, we will have Vale. RWBY, World of Remnant. Vale. So let's hear more about the history of Vale, courtesy of our lovely instructor, Crow.
Well, school's definitely out. But let's see if we can't all learn a little something.
Yay, learning!
Welcome to the world of Remnant.
Yes.
Not the best place to live, but depending on where you're staying, it can get a little easier.
True.
You've got towns and villages that pop up as fast as they fall.
Ah.
Some have menagerie, but the sweet spots are Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo, the four kingdoms of the modern era, and each one's special in its own little way.
What's that business down in the bottom
Let's talk
right, I
about
wonder?
Vale. In the grand scheme of things, Vale's pretty well guarded. It rests on the northeastern end of the world's largest continent, Sanus. Like most successful kingdoms, Vale's survival over the years can mostly be attributed to prime real estate. Its front is protected by steep mountains, and its back is against waters too shallow for any real threat to pop out of. Not to say I haven't heard some crazy fish stories. Aside from the main city, which the kingdom's named after, Vale territory also extends to several neighboring cities farther along the northwest coastline, as well as a small island named Patch. Nice place to raise a family, if you're into that sort of thing. Of course, all attempts to extend the kingdom's reach past the mountains and farther into the mainland have been colossal failures.
Yeah, we've seen some of those.
Like I said, in the grand scheme of things, Vale ain't half bad. Regular climate, natural barriers, and some serious border defenses means the citizens of Vale can spend less time worrying about survival and more time just living their lives. Of course, with the fall of Beacon, everyone's a little more worried these days.
I would be a little more worried too, with Beacon having fallen. Yes, indeed, Crow, they should be. And I agree. Well, now that we have completed our lovely little tour of the world of Remnant, I think we are getting ready to then start into Season 4 of RWBY. Considering how Season 3 left off, I have to wonder exactly how they're going to pick up the various loose pieces, which stories they'll be following forward, and who will be at the center of it all. I know RWBY will be herself, but how will they handle the fact that Team RWBY seems to have largely scattered, and some of the other teams, short a few members, or otherwise, off doing their own thing after the fall of Beacon? We'll just have to see, after all. Well, until then, my gentle viewers, as always, kindly remember, y'all are awesome. Stay awesome.